In the previous video on the topic, we checked how 6 GPUs, 3 from AMD and 3 from Nvidia, managed to run The Outer Worlds, a game that is free for the second time around on Epic Games. Like the previous CPU-oriented videos, we'll set up a few system configurations using the E3-1241v3 Xeon and the Core i5-2400. We'll use Inspector to turn on and off the Meltdown and Spectre security patches, and thus have either secure or unsecure variants. The secure ones have the patches enabled and therefore a performance penalty, whereas the unsecure ones will have the patches disabled for maximum performance at the expense of security. The Xeon CPU had its hyper-threading feature both turned off to emulate a Core i5-4570 and on where it performed like the i7-4770 and was tested with the Radeon RX 570 Mini ITX card from Sapphire. The BIOS that equips the DQ67SW board doesn't allow testing the Core i5-2400 with the same RX 570. However, the previous video pointed out that the GTX 1050 Ti might just have enough processing power to run into a CPU bottleneck under the right video settings. So, all that remains is to test the 6 combinations seen on the screen right now by running the game at 720 resolution and 30% render scale. And we start with the secure variants, and to no surprise, the Haswell configurations take the lead with an average FPS in the mid to high 90s and 1% lows in the 40s. It is worth noting that both i5 and i7 configurations perform more or less the same. The Center Bridge CPU manages a respectable average of 63 FPS, with 1% lows of 31. For most of the time the gameplay is fine. The larger open areas may cause some issues though, since the FPS will be closer to the 1% lows value. Previous experience had me expecting little to no change for the Haswell processors when turning off the security patches, and while the 4th gen CPUs did run a bit better this time around, it is by a small margin of only 2 to 5 FPS on average. Sandy Bridge, on the other hand, had a few titles where disabling the security patches provided some extra performance, and this title seems to be one of them. That sum turned out to be however 3 FPS for the average and more importantly 4 FPS for the 1% lows, bringing those values to 66 and 34 FPS respectively. While the performance of the Haswell quad-core variants was quite adequate for this game, Sandy Bridge is really on the edge. It could be that the hyper-threaded i7 2600 or 2700 versions might fare better, if not due to the extra threads, then because of the higher frequencies they operate at. But I don't expect any miracles. I would instead aim for those 1% lows to stay in the mid-30s. The 2400 can do that, but only with the security patches disabled. As for a GPU that would match the CPUs for this game, well, the previous 2 videos have you covered and they are really just one click away. We're done with this one. Thank you for watching, I hope you liked it and I'll see you for the next one.